YouTube, my name is Mesa and welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. We are going to go over the Arbalest, the first ever kinetic linear fusion rifle, and what everyone seems to be missing about this weapon. You can acquire this weapon right now during the spring event called the Revelry. I will link and annotate on screen a full guide on how to get this weapon. Big thank you to Shivo Shadow for letting me use his account to test this thing out all night. And man, this thing is fun and pretty unique. We've never had a weapon like this before. Let's take a look at the perks. Now, we've got two main perks that pretty much go in tandem with each other. We have Disruption Break, which you're probably familiar with. Breaking an enemy shield with this weapon makes them more vulnerable to kinetic damage for a brief time. We have Composite Stock, you got Projection Fuse, and we have Extended Barrel. But the main perk is called Compounding Force. Fire slugs that cause massive damage to elemental shields of enemy combatants. Let's look at the stats. You have a really fast charge time on this thing, 533. What does that remind you of? The Crooked Fang. Yes, you have an exotic Crooked Fang pretty much. The impact is 41, the range is 60, stability is 60, you get 5 in the magazine, the reload speed is 35, handling is not too bad, it's 28, it doesn't feel very clunky at all. You got a zoom in of 25, and you've got an aim assistance of 61. Next up, let's talk about how Compounding Force and also Disruption Break will go hand in hand, because this thing could be very, very lethal to shielded enemies. I'm not using it here on shielded enemies, but we're gonna go into some lost sectors and take a look at this good old wanted enemy. So I hit him once, boom, shield instantly gone. When you fire this weapon at an enemy, you will see 2 numbers of damage, and that's because you were hitting them with 2 slugs. Now, roughly the 2 damage numbers will be doubled, so one will be double the size of the first number. So right there, I just did 15,000 criticals because I broke his shield with the weapon. Your damage buff is roughly about 50%. So there I broke the shield and I do 15,000 critical. So there I hit him with a body shot. Now I finished him off and I did 10,000. That may not sound like much, but I'm telling you, one, that's going to take that shield down with 1 shot, especially a wanted enemy or a big yellow bar that does have a shield. Unfortunately, I don't think any of the strike bosses, they don't have shields, all right? But we'll get to the what everyone's missing in a second here. So you're going to take a shield down with basically 1 shot, and then you're going to do bonus damage for a little bit. I wish we had a timer, actually, that would show on the left-hand side of the screen of, well, how long does Disruption Break actually last for? When you're using this weapon, you've got 5 in the magazine, and you will carry 12 shots in reserves. So you want to run armor with a couple of things. One, scavenger for linear fusion rifles, but also special ammo finder. I say this every Zerv video. I love any piece of armor with special ammo finder. And I found when I was on his account, well, he had a pretty good build, and he was running special ammo finder on a lot of his gear. So I found with running strikes and a few other things that I really did not have a problem with running out of ammo. When it comes to PvP, you will hit him in the head for 414 crit. To the body, you will do 166, which will pretty much leave them absolute, and you can finish them off and just switch weapons. However, this thing, I think, and what everyone's missing, or at least the peanut gallery over on Twitter, because everyone's posting nonstop PvP clips, this thing is not meant for PvP, guys. This is a PvE gun. If you think about it, the 2 main perks kind of lend themselves to PvE. Compounding Force, the slugs, and also Disruption Break. Now, if you hit an enemy and you break their shield, then you will do some bonus damage. Even if you miss them and don't get the crit, you're getting those 2 slugs to hit, which still will do some really good damage. And it's like having a Crooked Fang as a kinetic. So what does that mean? Well, it's going to free up your heavy slot. You could use a machine gun. You could use a rocket launcher. You could use something else other than a linear fusion. This would be my double DPS setup, right? I would use my ringing nail for ad clearing. That's my energy slot. Then I would use the Arbalest for my kinetic. And then I would run either a rocket launcher or a heavy machine gun for my heavy weapon. So I've got the Arbalest and also the heavy machine gun for DPS. And I would use my ringing nail or something else, maybe a pulse rifle, for ad clearing. When we read the lore, it's the good old drifter having a smarmy conversation with one of my favorite NPCs. We didn't have linear fusions in the Dark Age, but we made it work. Nah, Dark Age version was better. You and I remember the Dark Age differently. I'll take a hard projectile over energy any day. No better way to make sure the target is dead. Energy is for silencing barriers. Fists are all I need to administer blunt force trauma. I forget you used to be a warlord. What do you mean used to? I thought you'd thrown in with Saladin and Fellwinter. I did, but I never stopped being me. Then why? Warlord has too many syllables. Gambit needs more candidates like you. You should stop by sometime. Whatever you want to call yourself. Thank you. You're a liar and a cheat. Stay out of my crucible. Ah, good old Uncle Shax. That is going to do it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, a like rating is very much appreciated. Leave me a good old hashtag made it to the end. If you did make it to the end, do me a favor. Drop a like in this video only if you see fit. Follow me on Twitter at Mesa Sean. Check out my stream, usually and always on YouTube. And that is it. I am out of here like Vladimir.